Recording live from three. Count them, three locations.
This is Past the Rock.
I am Patrick, and as always, I am joined by two intrepid men. Caesar, aka LCs.
What's up, y'all? I'm off 2 Tylenol right now. You know what that means.
And Jacob, aka Bethke.
Coming live from the city that just can't help but to make history for the same reason over and over again, my friends.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
but it is Mean Joe Green's birthday, so at least we have that today. Before we get into the meat, I do want to tell you all about maybe one of the most embarrassing things I'll ever do in my whole life.
Ooh. Do tell.
What was this? Is it Monday night? Yeah, Monday night. Went to the movie theater to watch Howl's Moving Castle. Always great. Good
Nice.
time. And I sit down and I put my drink in the right cup holder. I put my popcorn down in my lap to where it's like now it's blocking my drink. And a few minutes into like previews, trailers, I'm just sitting there and in my field of vision, there's a cup right to my left and there's not one anywhere else. So I grab and drink from the person next to me's cup. And I was just mortified, horrified.
Oh,
And I got to own up to the fact I did that.
Did they know?
Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah. What?
I
how'd you
offered
play it?
multiple times to go get another one. They just kept telling me to sit down and watch the movie. And then I felt really weird about it and didn't touch my own drink or popcorn for the first probably 30, 40 minutes of the movie.
damn, man. I can't even say anything. I've done something similar, not at the movie theater, but at work. Everybody has like their cups laying around, and everybody's drinking the same colored soda. And so I think I'm grabbing mine, and the next thing I know, I'm like, "Huh, it's not what I had." Only to look up at my coworker who's looking at me dead in the eye, like, that's my drink, right? I'm like, oh, now I know.
I'll take doing
That's
that
fair.
over accidentally drinking out of the ash cup any day because
Oof.
nothing worse than
Oh.
when you ash a cigarette in a cup and then you got to take a drink of that.
Well, to Caesar's story, I mean, that's also a tough way to find out how much fun your coworkers are having on the clock, too, you know?
Oh yeah,
You just,
for sure.
you're just like, oh, hey, oh, what's in that? All right.
Oh, that's happened to me once, but just once.
Well, we should probably get to it. That's enough fun. It's time for business.
That's right. Roger Goodell doesn't like fun.
This time of year, it's the No Fun League, and it's all about the Shield.
So crazy how we
Caesar,
cycled back.
What's going on in this week in the NFL?
Oh, there is just so much to talk about in the NFL, but we got to start with some sad news for Mr. Unlimited. Limited. Russell Wilson is benched. Who could have seen this coming, right? Listen, I know for any Russ defenders out there, they saw that week 2 matchup against Dallas, and they're like, he still got it. And then you look back at this
Well,
week
if that
2
was
matchup,
true, then they would have won the game because just there was 4 or 5 deep attempts, and they hit on 2 of them, I think, which was more or
they're
less.
gonna look at that raw stat line though. They're gonna see the 450 and they're like, that's still Russ. He can still cook. And little do they know or refuse to believe that he is kind of washed at this point in his career, even with the big number of games that he'll have on occasion. I mean, he's still just chucking that ball up there, hoping someone's down there.
He's probably the 20th best quarterback in the NFL right now.
I feel like it's a little generous. I would say maybe move him down like 5 spots.
Okay, fair. I just mean, like, I still think he's, like, technically a top 30 to where he could be a starter, but just most teams want better or want to try to find someone who could get better at this point. He's in a weird spot.
He is in a weird spot, too, because it's like he hasn't changed as a player since he came into the league. It's just bad habits got worse because he's had less to work with as time has gone on. And we see it now, right? So he's been benched for Jackson Dart, the first round. I want to say it was the first round draft pick, or was he a second round draft pick? I've already forgotten what place he was in the
Buy
draft.
you some time, okay?
Go for it. I mean,
Russ,
he was the 25th overall pick.
Russ was a 3rd round draft pick, was he not?
Oh my god. Was that? Yes, Russ was famously a 3rd round draft pick.
You're
And
asking
then-
what it was. This is
That
the
was-
starting quarterback's Instagram.
Because that was the year
Oh,
they
right.
paid Matt Flynn like several $1 million after
Yeah.
a 1-year game.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it's a historically good game. But yeah, still one game, one sample size was a crazy thing.
I mean, it
to
worked
base
out.
on college
They just
Yeah, it worked out
imagine
for
how
him.
much better they could have been somehow if they weren't paying Matt Flynn. They used that extra money for
for something else, right? Who knows?
somehow even more defense.
And you're also burying the other lead on Jackson Dart because this is a rookie who just did what he. I just showed you some of the his
Oh,
cultural interest in hobbies, right? Another
Which is not
one.
surprising.
I can't zoom in on this that well. I guess I could if I really wanted to, but just let me know when you see it. I guess it might be a little dulled out.
Is it the
That's a-
chain?
That's a pretty big, flashy chain, bro. Like it's like
Is it not Puka or something? Like,
no. That's a big. Have you seen it during the game? During the Cowboys game, it was glistening, dude. It's fucking big, shiny.
He's
It's,
iced the fuck out.
it's stupid. Yeah.
It's very funny that guy wants to be so.
New York, baby.
I guess maybe.
Uh,
got-
so
he got
I
in
find
touch
it
with-
to be-
Probably should be a Jet dressed like that, but
I find
No,
it to
listen.
be-
Did you not remember the infamous wide receiver photo of the Giants a couple years ago? He would
Oh,
fit
right.
in with that group.
weren't they like on a
100%.
boat?
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
all on a
the-
boat. They were
And-
feeling themselves, and the next thing you know, they go on a historically bad run, the likes of which that organization deserves. Because I hate that. Anyway.
I think they ended up photoshopping Eli into it, and people
They-
just assumed Eli was there, but it was just a Photoshop of Eli in there.
Imagining Eli Manning there of all people would be so funny.
Yeah, which is
Just
more
the goofiest.
believable, Eli in that or the picture of the Seahawks burning an American flag in the locker room?
Yes.
So Russell Wilson got benched.
So he got benched for Jackson Dart. He'll start his first NFL career game. Good luck to him because it's not going to be an easy road for him or the Giants in general.
Who did that this week?
Ooh, I believe they have somebody that's going to kick their ass.
The Chargers.
The Chargers, yeah. Yeah, somebody who should, on paper, kick their ass. All right, let's move on, shall we? To some big free agent, maybe news of some sort. CJ Gardner-Johnson, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, the New Orleans Saints, is now a former Houston Texan. He got released after their loss this past Sunday to, I believe it was the Jags? No, the Bucks. They have lost quite a bit of games. I want to say it was after the Houston Texans game.
Sorry, who cut him just now? The Texans?
Yeah, the Houston Texans
Yeah,
cut
they
him.
lost to the Jags last week.
Yeah, they lost to the Jags. He got cut. They're citing some issues that might be related to his personality, which
Might be.
not surprising. It should be probably.
They lit his ass up with the reports after that news came out. Those reporters said
You don't get a lot
so
of
many
those.
drafts.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of
So I just-
big acquisitions to get cut within the first 3
Well,
games
and
of the
like
year.
the immediate slander,
Well-
like we felt like there was some of that with Luka and the Mavs, and that all felt weird. But this is like immediate slander. Like the minute he's released, they're like, "And here's why."
Yeah,
Really?
listen, he does himself no favors. He's always been a brash,
He said- I think he
unapologetic
was-
type of guy.
And then I saw one where he was like, "I'm not used to this." After they were asking him how to turn it around after it being 0-3. Damn it!
He
The problem
he
with
was on the
reporters
Saints, but
is
they
that they
weren't
type
good.
out these guys' entire names, and I'm like, "Hey, man." Sometimes they've got long names and they don't want to type it all out. And
Yeah,
search
you-
bar.
They don't normally use CJ, GJ, or whatever.
That's more recent for sure.
It just feels like if you're the beat reporter, you're trying to get character. I guess there's no character limit anymore, though, is there?
That's not-
For some of them, if they use it enough, they probably don't have that issue.
Now, what's
Um,
funny about his release? Well, there's multiple things that are funny about his release, but the other thing that's really funny is the Texans traded for him, and the Eagles got back an offensive lineman named Kenyon Green, who they cut themselves. So it's one of those
Yeah.
weird trades where nobody got anything out of it.
Kenyon
At
Green
all?
that was a big recruit out of A&M.
I mean, you'd probably say that the
Nice.
Eagles got a guy out of the room that was probably worse for the room than Kenyon Green was.
Well, they're
I
probably,
don't
but
know,
like,
man.
I mean, they probably work to bring him back if they could, because like I
It's-
think it's the contract salary, not the player, that's the issue. For
Yeah,
them.
For them.
yeah. As far as I know from my,
You
from
think that's why
the,
Dalton was on his cell phone?
perhaps no. The one thing that I've seen from Eagles reporters is that he does still have fans of his in the building.
Complained about
I'm
his teammate's contract, complained about his role, complained about desired to blitz more frequently, and then requested a trade.
Sounds like he just wanted out of there, which I don't blame him. The Texans suck, man.
We are
Like,
3
this
weeks into the
is
season.
bad.
I mean, that is fair, though. The Texans do actually scare.
Like that offense is dog water, at best.
We
right
call
now.
Baker
And-
Mayfield ringless, but I think this is right. Everything.
I mean,
which that's a valid statement.
it is a truth.
Technically accurate.
It is a truth, and he can.
Although
Technically
actually, it's
back
probably
it up.
it's probably not a truth. I bet he owns a lot of rings.
Does he? Baker doesn't seem like a jewelry guy or like a hand jewelry guy.
Oh, dude. The
Maybe like
little-
wristwatches,
little
chains.
open up with a little bump in it.
This isn't me. This is a different one. But Texans Jacob tweeted out their offseason review.
The other Texans, Jacob.
Yeah. CJ Gardner Johnson released. 2 guys benched. 1 healthy and active. 4 guys that are playing well. 1 dude apparently just retired. 2 of them have been released now, actually. 1 guy seems, I guess, all right. I don't know. It was a weird one. 2 of them just says don't play. 1 of them's on IR, and the other one is a special teamer.
Yeah, it looks like the Houston Texans need a new GM.
Sounds like maybe I should have been looking at the Houston Texans salary
Different.
caps and Football Reference this week instead of the Vikings and Eagles. But we can always do bargain bin for other
There's
teams.
next week.
Always do it.
Listen, I don't. They're already bargain binning that offensive line. So as
No,
far as
I
know.
see. I'm trying to slowly uncover, like Pablo does, how cheap NFL owners are. Except for there's nothing secretive here. I just never actually pay attention to the books of the NFL teams,
That's
so
fair.
it's more interesting to me to.
The minutia of lineman pays.
And
Not even
also the
lineman
Texans
pay,
are
sorry,
just
like special teams pay, like where you're really like.
But it's investment. It's the way you invest is an interesting part. Like I'll talk about it a lot with the Eagles. I know he already has an idea of this, but like it is a different. It's just obviously you have to get good at things, but the way you invest strategically is important. Your 2 teams mirror the 2 successful strategies, in my opinion, that I think give your team the best shot.
History shows we're really good at making it look real good for a bit.
for a bit. That's one way of putting it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to it at the
Houston
end of
Texans
the quarter. Now that we got some notable injury news, we're in that part of the year where people are starting to drop like flies. So some notable names. I do not have all of the exact details of their injuries, but I do have the names here. So I think the 2 biggest names right now in football that are going to be missing some time are going to be
Alex
CeeDee
Pierce.
Lamb.
Oh.
What?
And Tyler Booker.
CeeDee Lamb and Mike Evans will be missing action this week, and probably for the next couple weeks as well. So some names to look out for as well. Let's see. Wide receiver news. We're going to keep it going there. Okay, so if you're picking the Cardinals, I want to say one of their more impactful wide receivers, Zay Jones, will be out with a concussion. Right? You look over at their opponent, the Seahawks. They have multiple offensive linemen that are going to be either out or doubtful for this game. Josh Jones, Anthony Bradford. We're going to look at the Minnesota Vikings. Well, there is still some news on J.J. McCarthy possibly being out for this game as well. With an ankle
That's
injury,
fine.
you have Javon Hargrave with a chest injury, which that one's weird, just a list chest. You got on the Steelers side, Patrick Queen, limited in practice. Something to look out for, as well as their number 2 corner, Joey Porter Jr., with a hamstring injury. You look over onto the what's up?
McCarthy has been ruled out for this game against Pittsburgh.
All right, so you get Carson Wentz round 2. Which he wasn't that bad in his in his start.
He wasn't great. He had one good drive, the very first one, and then the defense really did the work.
Listen. That's what you're gonna get from him at this point in his career. So,
But hey, now we get to go play 2 games in Europe, so we'll see how all that flows.
right. All right. So, we're looking over at Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns matchup. Tyler Decker reported injury with a shoulder, and safety Daniel Thomas with a forearm injury. You're going to look at Denzel Ward for the Browns, has a shoulder injury. So he should be playing, and that's about it. They're pretty healthy for the most part, it sounds like. Nobody cares about New Orleans Saints news. So the Buffalo Bills will be without lineman Spencer Brown, potentially, as well as starting defensive tackle Ed Oliver, as they both missed practice this week. Now, the Texans and the Titans. I was going to say the Houston Titans and
Once upon a time.
Sort of.
Yeah, once upon a time. Listen, Cam Ward is limited due to a calf and ankle injury, so his status is in doubt for that matchup, which nobody will want to watch. Spoiler alert, they are on the must-skip games of the week list. We're going to go to Washington at Atlanta. Jalen Daniels remains a limited participant in practice as he still continues with a knee injury. And yeah, you look over at the Atlanta Falcons side. No big news to be worried about if you are a Falcons fan. Tight end Kyle Pitts has a sore toe. That's about it. James Pierce Jr., the first-round draft pick that they traded a future first for, weirdly enough, has a groin injury, but I don't believe he's playing that much to begin with in this season. We're looking over at Philadelphia and Tampa. Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell both missed practice this week. Adoree Jackson missed practice as well with a groin injury. And you had Lane Johnson limited. They are for sure going to be without Jaquarian Bennett, I believe is his name. He's not very good. The Eagles are down to their 4th string corner on the outside, and Keely Ringo. As I mentioned earlier, Mike Evans will miss this game. They might still be, the Bucs are, without Chris Godwin Jr., although he was a full participant in practice. So we'll see if he suits up, probably likely at this point. You look at the Chargers and Giants. Mekhi Becton missed practice with concussion, might miss this game as well. You look at the Giants side, Malik Neighbors out with a shoulder injury. Not good news for Jackson Dart if he doesn't have his number 1 wide receiver. Now, I would go and talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and San Francisco 49ers, except they're all hurt. Najee Harris. Oh, yes. I totally forgot that.
I was like, did that happen last week? And I just completely forgot about it.
It happened earlier. Was it listed? It happened on Sunday, right? So This is all news that's been reported recently. I forgot about Najee Harris though, and you know what? That is sad because he's moving. He was having a decent start to the year, and this opens up the topic even more for the idea that the league shouldn't have turf as it has no give. Yes, you run faster on turf, but grass is so much more forgiving on the body. But it's apparently turf is just cheaper to maintain over the course of its lifespan. So these owners, they love to save a pretty penny when they can. Yeah. And then
that one's interesting. I mean, I do understand. I mean, I would want my team to always just be playing on grass, but I do understand that some of these stadiums at least do probably make more money by doing other things in the arena during the weeks and the year, where maintaining grass is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, I mean, there's been famous instances of the Pittsburgh Steelers field just getting absolutely destroyed late in the year because there's a lot of events going on with high school, college, all using Heinz Field, which I'm pretty sure they're not called Heinz Field anymore, but you know what I mean. Using that stadium's field.
Dallas, Minnesota, they're doing full on Beyonce shows. So
yeah, it makes sense financially why you would want to have turf. At the same time, a lot of these star players are getting hurt on turf, that you're paying a lot of money to. So
Yeah, but
which
that's what
one?
the cap. That's what the cap's for.
Yeah, I
You
suppose
see,
so.
there's a piece of pie.
There's the piece of pie. Oh yeah. And now let's look into some more bigger matchups here. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. Right now you are looking at Isaiah Likely making his debut in Week 4. Much needed weapon for the Baltimore Ravens offense. Now they had a couple of players like Namdi Matabuke who did not practice and will probably not play this week due to a neck injury. You're going to look over at the opposite end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy was a full participant, suggesting that he might be able to come back. He is sorely needed on that team. Now, Green Bay, Dallas. Bethke, you mentioned it. Tyler Booker out with his own injuries. I forget what it was that he had.
I think it was
Corner
the same
Trayvon,
injury.
ankle as well.
I think so. I think they both had the same ankle situation. I mean,
Okay,
right?
gotcha. Looks like it. Corner Trayvon Diggs was a
Too much
was a
paintball.
was a DNP due to a knee injury. So we'll see how that plays out for the
He
Cowboys
was a
secondary.
DNP Sunday too. Tyler Booker injury.
Yeah, corner Deron Bland and Ty.
Yeah, they're both ankle injuries, but I don't know
Tyreek
specifically. What?
Wize? I can't pronounce his
Yeah,
first name.
I thought it was
Bridges.
him. They're hoping Bland. And
Oh,
Clowney
they
will
brought
both
in
be playing.
that was a kid they brought in on the waiver wire. I think he was undrafted or a 7th rounder. They got cut. Houston just stole one of our dudes like that.
Does it sound like we're getting Clowney though?
Oh yeah, I don't know about Clowney. Let's see.
I think so.
Probably. I mean,
Most of them
they
would
I
if
think
they're
they
not
have
playing him.
to.
Yeah.
I
this
think
point,
there's
right?
really not a choice in the matter. So he's
that defense
yeah,
is kind of decimated with injuries,
practicing.
and already
Before
wasn't
was
very deep.
Fucking hilarious.
He's gonna outplay
Oh my
Micah
God.
in this game and then never do well again.
Oh my god, that's really all actually I have to ask of him. We'll save all that for later, but I mean, no
For
qualms with me.
No qualms there. Now, that does it for the injury news. There's definitely significantly more injuries, but I'm not trying to make that last
There's
longer than
your-
it should.
42 look.
I was like, what?
He's wearing his Jackie Robinson tribute jersey.
Look at
Did he
that.
at least give that reason?
No, I mean he might have. I don't know.
I hope so.
That
I doubt
yeah,
it.
42 on a defensive end is crazy. All right, now next up on the docket, this is gonna go for
Bland
Patrick.
looks like he's playing. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah, what
Bland,
I would
yeah,
have
yeah.
heard is they're expecting
He's
Bland
limited in
and
practice,
Clowney
but-
to be there.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Patrick,
So
let's go ahead, take it over
the-
because former
greatest-
Philadelphia Eagle Isaiah Rodgers had a perfect performance for the Vikings.
according to PFF, the highest ever score anyone's ever gotten
Well,
since
if
they started
PFF,
grading.
PFF said it, that's it.
A 99.9. All from one
It's
good
great.
half. Isaiah Rodgers, in what we thought was going to be a super low scoring, punt driven Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz game, we got the Isaiah Rodgers game. A pick six, 2 forced fumbles, including returning one of those for a touchdown. The Vikings defense got me 35 points in fantasy because of him. It was wild. And the interception you can give, Browning screwed that up, but the other 2 turnovers, he got the ball to his guys and they got wrecked and lost it.
Now, listen, if there's any chance that the Viking season starts to derail, feel free
Any
to
chance.
just send
good.
him back to Philadelphia
chance.
because
He's
I
not getting
am
him back.
desperate. I'm desperate for a quarterback too.
You should have kept him this year. I don't know what y'all were doing, but
We kept Dallas Goddard instead. It was one or the other, according to Howie. Well, he never said that out loud, but you could tell by their decision making, it was keep Dallas Goddard and keep Isaiah Rodgers, and they were like, well, we'll just go bargain bin hunting, which we'll talk about later.
I excuse me. I had no idea the Vikings were gonna be on local TV. So I like to go and sit at the bar and watch the noon game at least usually. So we turned on the CBS broadcast because they were doing that 50th anniversary thing. Did y'all see any of that?
Just
the
whatever
NFL
was
Today
shared in
50th
chat.
anniversary.
Yes, I mean I
Yeah.
saw I saw a bit of it, but I didn't watch any of it.
It was pretty cool. A bunch of the old footage looked awesome, and then the way they did the set looked really cool. Like I don't know, like the 70s look that they was still like screens behind them, but there's like little tiny square ones, you know. Made it all look all Marvel retro. And then they had all the panel hosts dressed in like old 70s Anchorman style gear. It was pretty fun.
Most
as
of
far
it
as-
looked good.
I'm not a big fan of NFL pregame shows, but that at least held my interest a bit. But then I got to watch a Viking game, which was cool, and then it actually became a really fun game that'll probably be lost in a nothing season, but I won't forget that performance.
Yeah, man, that's a once in a lifetime performance for a lot of players. So, congrats on Isaiah Rodgers for that. I mean,
Best is yet to come.
hopefully for him. I miss him. Come back to the Eagles. He's probably not ever going to come back, but it was a great run that we had with him. Now,
Vikings win 48-10.
Vikings won. There you go. Now, gentlemen, it's time for the clip show. And I've got a ton of clips.
Show. It's Caesar's clip
Listen.
show.
I'm gonna have a song for this segment at some point. I just gotta figure out which song I'm trying to parody. I got a list going though. But anyway, we're gonna start off with the clip show with some hot mic issues happening around the league. First is first though. It's run, Jordan, run. You as a tackle do not ever want to just scream your lungs out, almost in fear. But it makes sense when Myles Garrett is the one striking that fear in you, because you don't want to see your guy get demolished. So let's just look at the footage here, shall we? If it would.
It did play.
What the?
Bruh, I beat him on the cleanest inside last series.
Jordan!
Jordan, run!
That was the tackle say?
Yes.
Also, there's
I think
another
that's heads
clip.
up football. I think that's a guy who in Madden has an awareness of a 99 and like the strength of like a 67.
Yeah, there's another clip that you can find on Twitter fairly easily from Ben Fennell at NFL, and he's it's actually nastier if you're looking at it. I guess this is
Oh, from the bird's eye view? Yeah, the way he beat him off the
like
the
he's
snap.
not playing. He really did just completely. He did just kind of teleport in front of this.
He
dude.
animated him, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Straight
Absolutely, yeah, just absolutely went almost yeah, like you said, teleported right into the gap there.
He misty stepped him. I think that's what they call it.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It was a crazy move to beat the tackle off the edge, and I get why you would scream, but man, to have that recorded, have that mic'd up.
If I'm a quarterback, I'm glad. I'm like, thanks, man.
Thanks for the
It
heads
might-
up.
Yeah.
Although, if you're a quarterback and you know Myles Garrett is on the other side, I think you already know in the back of your head, I didn't get the ball out.
That split second could save you.
Probably, didn't save them from that loss though. Not one bit. All right, some more hot mic issues in the NFL. This one courtesy of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Did you bleep this one?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But we're like almost 30 minutes in. I don't think
You're
YouTube
fine.
cares at this
You're
point.
fine.
Touchdown, Detroit. What a throw and catch.
You
Now-
know that's going to be sampled in a hip hop song within the year.
And Roger Goodell
you have to
is
hope.
dropping the heftiest of fines the Amon-Ra's way.
Largest fine, what is it, the maximum fine capable under the CBA is what they always say.
Probably. And the funniest thing is that on the majority of the clips that I've seen, the response has been, Amon, you grew up in Germany. Who are you? I'm like, okay. I forget this guy lived a very strange life. Or a very interesting life. Also, him and his brother have some of the coolest names ever. And also his dad, I don't know if you guys seen Mr. Brown.
It's a whole psycho story.
Yes, whole cycle story. But he is absolutely just jacked out of his mind. But yeah,
He was like a Mr. World champion or whatever. He was like at one point.
he was a
the top of
bodybuilding.
whatever he was doing.
Yeah, he was a top bodybuilder in his prime. Well, that's for sure. Now, guys, it's time for the rest of these clips. Listen, as the show evolves, so do the clips. Okay, it's not just highlights and lowlights; it's everything in between, all around. It's on a spectrum presented to you by
I'd say it's
Tylenol.
all of the lights.
That's right, all of the lights. Listen, we're gonna start off with some lowlights from Mr. Unlimited in what was one of the worst foreplay sequences I have seen a quarterback of this caliber have. Let's just roll the clip, shall we? First down, steps back. What does he do? He just throws it to nobody. Just nobody. Okay, what's the next play? Oh, he runs up the middle for barely any gain. What does he do in the third play? Looked around, and then chucks that son of a
So
bitch.
all he had to do was cash in on garbage time to keep his job, and this is what he did.
This is exactly what he did. He threw
He
to
hit the
nobody.
That one's good. That one was
No,
funny.
Hitting the post is crazy.
It was
This
kind of a
guy
really
is
casual fuck off throw too.
Yeah, you know, this is why you're benched, Mr. Unlimited. Because
It's
it
time to
seems
be a
like you are
family
actually
man
very-
and probably a senator or some awful shit. Who knows?
just yeah. And listen, you're married to Sierra. You've made hundreds of millions of dollars. Just go enjoy life, because football has left you behind, buddy.
Let's see you 1-2 step out of the league.
Oh, that's not as egregious as what Amon-Ra St. Brown did with his first catch of Monday night. This gets an Ayo from Twitter and from me, because what is this celebration?
With the hip shake?
Look at that, man. That man is double cheeked up on a Monday night, shaking ass for the world to see.
He is squeezing
He
those
told you
glutes.
he runs it.
He does. Oh, he said that, but he didn't. He said that after this. After this.
Well, he
He was
answered
just
the
doing
question.
the
initially.
football equivalent of a Lil Wayne poop bar.
Little bit. Now, guys, this next clip's gonna make me sad because I had high hopes for this guy, but he's starting to kind of fit into the mold of what
His
we do
franchise.
for bad quarterbacks, right? If you're a bad quarterback and you end up on this show, you're gonna get this. And this is why. Steps back to throws into
Oof.
just who was he
That-
going for on
That
that
is
play?
so
That
me
one was bad.
playing Madden or college football. That is me as a quarterback.
This is bad all the way
Never
through.
never saw that guy. He never saw him.
Never saw both defenders because
Yeah, to be fair, there
honestly,
are two right there.
There are two. Maybe he thought there was just one. Like it was just all one jersey. The teal kind of threw him off. I'm not sure. The Jacksonville Jaguars with their throwbacks, just boop.
Oof.
Yeah, that was bad. That was
I
a
mean,
bad
that guy
play.
did get up, but there's just nothing on that throw, so it just sat there.
And again, Houston Texans fans, even if it bottoms out, even if you think there's hope at the end of the tunnel, that could just be Garrett Nussmeier.
That
Could just be Cade Klubnik.
Oh, that's for sure going to be Clay Cook. He's not. That's not the first round quarterback if I've ever seen him. No,
I
let's-
don't know what it is. I don't know what that is anymore, if I'm being honest with you.
No,
I really
here's
don't.
Whoever's
this next
taken in the
one.
first round.
It's
That's
whoever's season was. But even then, like, it's the NFL quarterbacks continue to amaze me.
Now this one
It's
comes.
alarming how bad everyone is at analyzing any of that.
And I don't blame the people analyzing as much
Well, I mean,
as
clearly
I.
because nobody's really getting it right. Like,
I
it is
genuinely-
a crapshoot to some degree for everybody.
Yeah, and not everybody's good at developing quarterbacks. Like they just
Tom
don't
Brady
have
is
the name.
half boomer, half dead on the money, man. And I make the jokes about them taking critical race theory out of schools, and now these kids are getting dumb and can't read coverages. But like that might not be too far off from the truth too, because these kids are alarmingly bad at understanding. Like, and this is also the situation with Stroud potentially, or at least it's what we're questioning. Is have you been figured out?
And I think with Stroud, mostly it's going to be the issue of that offensive line is bad, and it's starting to make him have the yips in the pocket. He's starting to become a little bit more panicky. Year one, they had a solid, not a
He's too
fantastic
dumb.
offensive line,
He's
but it
too
was
dumb to know better.
He was young, and he had a chip on his shoulder. And as his career's progressed, that line's gotten worse. The weapons around him can't stay healthy, and the play calling has been abysmal. And I'm starting to think DeMeco Ryans may not have it as a head coach, despite the first year success. Because year 2 was kind of rough. Year 3 is off to an even worse start. But besides that, this next clip, guys, this one has been requested by Jacob Bethke himself because this flop is phenomenal.
It's beautiful.
Ginobili-like, baby. That's what we got it listed here.
Did they call it in the broadcast? I had it muted.
Oh, yeah, they did. They definitely
back.
did.
I saw they went back and looked at it.
That is an egregious flop.
Hey,
This is an
You
NBA
ain't trying.
flop right here. This is a little too much, though. Like, just that's trying too hard, honestly.
Yeah,
Do
that's
less,
not
as they
That
like
was
to say.
pretty funny.
That was a funny one. All right. Well, this next one, this is one of the stranger fumbles I've ever seen because you just snatched the ball away from somebody. Sorry, Bethke, look away because this one involves Javonte. Javonte Williams takes the pitch, goes up.
Oh yeah.
Looks like he's off for a nice run. And honestly, I'm like, this is an impressive run. And then next thing you know, it's wild because it just looks like he gives him the ball.
he only
It's like,
said
here you
swipe
go.
or no swiping twice.
No, he definitely was not like following through at the end of that. It was crazy too because if you look at the way the game started, defense gets them off the field, then you get Turpin kind of has an exciting but modest return, and then that's like the second or third play, and you're just like, all right, we know there's confidence, and then as soon as that happens. But it's as we get to the discount boys, it's funny because Miles Sanders does that against the Eagles, and this is the funniest part of the bargain bin is that Stephen Jones does hit on these guys to some extent, but they're often always put in positions to fuck it up royally, and they almost always make him look like an asshole. And it is kind of funny. Like he does get solid players, but almost every one of them will end up making him look like a jackass at some point in time.
See, if you run your team honorably, this won't happen.
I don't know if there is honor in sport, but I hear you on that. There's definitely a lot of dishonor coming from Frisco.
Oh, for sure. Now, this one is more of a positive play. This is Ibuka from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy might be rookie of the year the way he's been playing. Let's look at this cat, shall we? Drops back, Baker does. Launches this sucker down the sideline. What a beautiful one-handed grab with Sauce Gardner dripped all over him. Just
the worst.
this
logo.
guy. Let's see if they show it again in
I
slow-mo.
don't know, man. Everyone was
How
excited
stressed
for
he
this
was.
combination of jerseys today.
Yeah, people
Or
are dumb.
I think it's very nostalgic.
I think color wise, I like that the all white with the orange trim, but I don't. The logo is still bad. Still a bad logo.
It's just a
Bad
throwback
logo, but I'm not really looking at the logo most of the time. All
I think
right.
they're fun.
Now let's look at some good quarterback play some more, shall we? Because that was a good pass by Baker. This is a fantastic pass from Herbert, but he's still breaking all the rules of quarterback rules on this one. All right, look at this. He drops back the pass, runs to his left, throws across his body
yeah.
with a dot. Oh my God, what a pass.
Good. I want the Chargers to be really good this year. It's more fun that way.
The league is better when the Chargers are fun.
Would you say it's electric?
They're
God
electric.
damn it. Electric. You know what?
I'm on all the bad jokes today. I got you.
Thank you. You know what? This run here was electric. Apparently, the tweet that I stole this clip from, borrowed this clip from, courtesy of the NFL. Thank you, NFL. Said that the wrong player got the handoff, but when I look at this play, it looked like the right player got the handoff either way, and the result couldn't have been better. All right. Marcus Mariota hands off to the running back Nichols. I can't remember his first name. Sorry.
No, yeah,
Rips a bunch of tackles.
that was
and
the
then
way
just-
people sold this is that they gave the ball to the wrong guy.
I need to see
What?
the beginning of it again. I thought there
He
was only one
rumbled
guy in
and
the
bumbled and
backfield.
stumbled.
Yeah, and that was an impressive run.
That's one of those that make
It looked like
The
it
other running back doesn't look at all like he's expecting to get a ball.
at all. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to sell
He's
the
immediately
handoff.
going to his spot to block.
that one makes you look like this, you know.
Yeah, Jeremy Nichols with a 60-yard run.
Doesn't work.
Maybe they
Needs to
just
wait.
meant it was called for the other guy, but then maybe Mariota.
But then
changed
how would
it
you know that it was called for the other guy? You know,
because they run
you
it.
wouldn't know.
I don't know because they run it for that guy normally in that set. I don't know. That's just all guesswork.
I guess so. Well, gentlemen, we're getting to my favorite part because this we're saving the best for last. We're saving special teams because this past weekend was a crazy week for special teams. We're going to start off with the late hour. The Seattle Seahawks with a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown. Let's look at this. Returner gets it in
Against
his
the
hands.
Saints
Makes
doesn't count.
Yeah, listen, even the
Oh,
worst.
Oh my
look
god!
at
Is that the kicker? Is that the punter?
That was the punter. Get laid out. This is one of the more
tried.
easy kick return or punt returns for touchdowns that I've ever seen. But you don't get a 95-yard punt return often, even against the worst of teams.
I've heard Brandon Aubrey say that the Cowboys never once worked on those guys hitting. They just told them to stay out of the way.
Just stay out of
For
it.
sure.
Well,
Especially him.
oh yeah.
I think it was at least with Bones. It was like punters, kickers, just don't even.
Don't even try.
There's really
Just
no
fuck
point.
off. We're not even planning for you.
Tory Horton with the 95-yard
I
punt
mean, they're
return.
not wrong, right? They
Yeah.
realize that's more liable to injure the player than actually do any good.
Yeah,
But
getting
sometimes guys make
blindsided by somebody running 60 yards the other way.
But they are
versus-
trained in college to do that because in college, more often than not, they at least have a better chance.
They're not as undersized.
It happens.
'Cause
Sometimes there's
they
definitely some
also in some schools play tight end and fullback and kicker.
Sometimes it's unfair. Sometimes you're a school that plays those kinds of schools a lot, and one time you got to match up against a school that's got a bunch of dudes that are about to go in the first round, and you got to make some business decisions that day.
Oh, for sure. Now, guys, I'm going to call him Mr. Get Down Glenn. All right, because before I show you what led to what this video is, I'm going to show you the video. Okay.
It's pretty good. I like that.
Oh, look at that.
Who's
What's that?
the,
What caused Aaron Glenn to
Who's the quarterback for the Jets now?
Felix?
Tyrod Taylor?
Oh right,
Nice.
I
Fucking
forgot Tyrod
Yeah.
Taylor's in.
Now-
Tyrod needs to go to the Hall of Fame.
Now, Tyrod did not
Hall of
warrant
Fame.
this kind of reaction from Aaron Glenn. This is what warranted the reaction. It was a
Block?
field goal block.
That's crazy.
And
2
return
in
for
one
touchdown.
That is
weekend,
a 9-point swing.
Look at that. Look at
huh?
that.
And both of them
Same guy
decide
who
the
blocked
game
it.
ultimately. That's interesting. Both of them. Wait, how? The 3 of them? 3 of them decided a game this week?
Yes, sir.
What
3
the
field goal
fuck,
blocks.
dude?
Although, to be honest, this one did not decide the game as the Jets did lose this game.
Oh, the
ultimately.
Jets did lose the Bucks.
And this happened, 2 minutes left. There's
But-
plenty of time, but
The Jets did take the lead, and they had every opportunity to try
That
to
would've
win the
been cooler.
game.
you can't
Yeah, it
stop
would've been
Baker
cooler.
Mayfield.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
right.
Now this one right here, this was an absolute just nail biter, or no, nail in the coffin type block for the Green Bay Packers, but they were on the receiving end of, because the Cleveland Browns blocked this kick, and though not returned for a touchdown, this put the Cleveland Browns in position to kick a winning field goal of their own. This was one of
That's a good
3.
look. I like
No,
that one.
actually, this is
You
one
like
of
you
4.
prefer that jersey, but you don't like the creamsicles?
I like the creamsicle jersey, just not the logo. Just not the logo on the helmet.
The logo's more artistic. You like the corporate, like WWE.
nothing on the
It looks
Browns?
like a WWE ass logo. The
They don't have a logo.
Buccaneers.
Like the regular Bucks logo?
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't like
the
any of the
regular
Bucks.
Bucks
The
logo.
Bucks have never had a good logo, I don't think.
Okay, yeah.
I've
The
always
pirate
liked their colors.
flag. The pirate flag it's like a sword with a red flag and a
Yeah,
skull.
no, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
It's a
I like the
disgusting- it's a
swashbuckler with a knife in his mouth. It's very
If
70s.
that's what it was, but there's all this other stuff going on.
But he's just like he's a little Monte Cristo looking motherfucker. You know, it's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one, yeah. I just don't like
Yeah.
the artistic style of it. I don't know.
Word.
But the Brown, I don't know, bro. I don't actually care that much about jerseys too often, but the Browns got to go with that one. I don't know if I'm ever one to look at that again.
You want
I
them to
mostly
go
just
with
like
this one
the-
because this is when they had when Baker was the quarterback.
Right.
they-
Did they do the stripe on the helmet too? I remember the
yeah,
jerseys.
I don't love the stripe on the helmet, but I like the flat mat for them instead of like the weird brown colored helmet.
Yeah, I guess I'm fine with the matte black or brown in the future, but,
But the
I
stripes
don't know
don't
if I
need
like
to
the
be there.
stripes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe one, just do one stripe. We'll see.
Now, guys, this is one of 4 different field goal blocks that we had on the day. Now,
Man,
2 of them came from one game, but we're only going to show you the one that mattered most, although both technically matter because of how tight the game was. And Bethke, don't worry, I have the view of.
I think both
sitting
views show you pretty good.
Yeah, well, we're going to show you multiple views, but first, let's just
I don't
show
know what we're
you
talking about.
the thickest of thick six. Jordan Davis blocks the field goal,
16 just.
and then look at number 16.
No, there's a
Number 90,
debate that needs to be
rumbling
had
and
here. I'm
stumbling.
gonna let you celebrate, but there's a debate that needs to be had here.
Oh yes. Listen, we'll get to that in just a moment, but I need to see this one more time because he goes through the line, blocks it.
Picks up,
One of
like-
the Eagles defenders actually blocks the
Like deflects
Rams
it back
player.
to him. Yeah.
Yeah, blocks the Rams player from grabbing the ball. Jordan Davis scoops and scores. He hit 18.5 miles per hour at over 336 pounds. What a display from Jordan Davis. This one made me happy because I had a Jordan Davis agenda the moment he got drafted, and he's finally starting to pay off. But, enough of that. Let's look at the view because there is a lack of effort from the kicker on the Rams. And this one's going to show us a great view, right? It's going to be in super slow-mo. You see the block, and then number 16 right there turns around and says, nope, no, fuck that.
Well, he kind of has a moment to really. He gets like a couple seconds. Actually, I like the regular version. Let me show you. So you already talked about it. What Bones said, right? But look at
Yeah,
16. Look at him. He gets a second, and he kind of. Nah, that's safe for me, champ.
I mean,
but
in that situation,
He's
he's
right.
not catching up to someone
No,
any
I
better
know.
than any of his teammates are.
I trust me, and the reason I think this debate needs to be had is because I think he's in a lose-lose situation no
for
matter
sure.
what he does. Because clearly he can't help. Clearly this wasn't his fault. At the same time, football is this sport where, like, lack of effort on film is almost as bad as any.
Yeah, but it's always been the kicker. Like, it's fine.
It
Yeah,
is,
but,
and no one's
you
going to
know-
look at the kicker. And especially, actually, I think you could argue more. There might be a delay from like 3, because there's like about 3 to 4
Like, they just
Rams that
forgot. They
never get
forgot it's a
past
live
him.
ball.
Like,
Yeah, like, look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
71,
there's-
77, and
there's
50.
3. I'll let the guy on the ground go. There's 3 of them that
They
didn't
forgot it's a
even
live
come
ball.
close to reacting on time. So
Yeah,
I
and-
think they would probably be higher.
Has
in
Sean
the pecking
McVay
order.
lost his team?
Oh,
It's
man.
a tough loss for the Rams, though. They had that game in the hand, and they let it slide out.
They did, man. That shit, for anybody who didn't watch that game, and you look at the final score, you're like, oh, man, this was a really great game. No, that first half was an ass-kicking. The Eagles couldn't get anything going on offense. And then the second half was just a tale of two different teams where, like, now the Rams can't get anything going until the very end in that final drive where they're in field goal range, right, to win the game. And for the second drive in a row, this was their second drive in a row, they had a field goal blocked. So
It's not
multiple
great.
score changing blocks occurred in this game.
Less thinking equals talent take over.
Facts.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that clip up because this motherfucker has not listened to his own advice all year long because he's been playing a conservative style of offense.
He's
And
bored.
then
He
what
won a
happens-
Super Bowl. Now he's like, let's play some games.
Let's play.
Try
Let's
some
play
stuff.
some. Let's handcuff all of our players. This was the first time that I've seen the Eagles players verbally call out the head coach and the offensive coordinator in a way where you're like, you're not disparaging them, but you're saying stop playing conservative. This came out the mouth of both Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown after the game. Where they're like, let your killers be killers. Let us go, just throw the ball because nothing else seems to be working. We don't need this, babysitter offense, which is what they've been running for the first 2 weeks. And then the first half, They finally let Jalen Hurts just throw the ball, and what happens? A.J. Brown bullies people, and you win the game. So thanks to some miraculous heroics from special teams as well. Anyway, enough of that little side rant. I think it's time now, gentlemen, for the new segment. This is Bethke's moment. So let me go ahead and lead you in here.
Forget the fancy top-end free agents. Forget the first-round draft picks. Forget the owners who actually spend money. Tonight, Pass the Rock presents the segment that dives into the football clearance rack. It's Bethke's Bargain Bin. Well, somehow it didn't quite...
Little tail.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a picture of you there. I don't know what happened to it, but it disappeared.
I made it disappear with my mind.
Anyways, Bethke's Bargain Bin.
Yes, tell us all about it.
This has been a long time coming, for sure. Okay, and this is just the introductory, so this might be a little more. If you guys have other teams that we feel like we need to look into and investigate, we are happy to do so here. But we're going to start with none other than the Dallas Cowboys. You could argue the masters of this. I think that you would have to put them in Cincinnati sort of neck and neck in the category of who wants to spend least. Cincinnati, I think, kind of gets the edge. The cart thing we just found out last week feels like a good one to put over the top. At least Jerry puts a lot of front. Like, he'll pay for all the really stupid things that look nice. But as far as roster construction, where it gets kind of expensive, not so much.
Do you want good training staff, or do you want a PS5?
Yeah, it is a lot of that. So I kind of went and did a little exercise where I took the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles, and I started to understand their cap situations and maybe understand their builds in comparison to the Dallas Cowboys. And I think this will be a good template to use moving forward, because I think, if I'm correct, if my calculations are correct, and I guess we'll get into this more in the next quarter, the Cowboys are going to fall and burn into the atmosphere very quickly this season. And there's a lot of reasons for this. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about Micah's trade. And I think Micah's trade is fair to criticize. But again, if anything, they did the right thing by trading Micah Parsons, because this formula makes no sense to continue to string him along as well. You might as well have gotten some investment, return on investment now, because this is, in terms of total cap, the 19th ranked. Eagles are only at 14. Vikings at 23rd. Not really sure where total cap matters. Where it really matters here, the Eagles are 14th in space. Vikes are 15th in space. The Cowboys are second in space. And if you look at their sheet, you're going to see Dak Prescott with $50 million to his name. All right, big, but there's a lot of teams with that. You're also going to see the number of cap space look basically identical. So theoretically right now, the Cowboys could have two Dak Prescotts on their payroll, or Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. And, this thing might look a little more normal. But since they decided to go super duper cheap and keep that total $50 million there, they have now decided to essentially make almost an entire defense out of what, if you went to the store, instead of buying the best brand, is the great value brand if you're at Walmart. Or I don't know, what's the other brands at the other places? I think
Target's is called Up and Up.
Yeah, so you're getting the not the great stuff here, right?
Like a level below Kirkland signature at Costco.
Exactly. And in terms of dead cap, that's something people have often cited as the reasons the Cowboys can't spend, right? But obviously the Eagles proved that to be incorrect. They're third in dead cap. The Cowboys are 17th, yet you see such a huge disparity in the spending. Maybe you could argue the Eagles have won a Super Bowl, so they're double down on a window. But if we took this and went larger, you would obviously see the same situation.
I've been told for many years the Cowboys are in a window, so...
Yeah. Well, they are in a window, but I think they might have been lying about what that window is. So, yeah, you talk about the Cowboys. Yes, Dak Prescott compared to the other top earners on the Eagles and Vikings is a lot of money. Hurts gets 21 as far as cap hit. I don't know what all the specific. This is just cap hit. And then you got, and I'm not gonna lie, this is how little ball I know. You got a tackle named O'Neal that makes $26 million. Patrick?
Oh yes. Sorry.
He's good?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, offensive linemen get the short end of the stick. What about Greenard, the linebacker?
Very, very good.
Right? Okay, and the other ones I know. So those are all, and that's TJ, you got J. Jeff, you got Van Ginkel, and you got Murphy
Jefferson
that are all
has to
good
be
pay.
going up soon, right?
His and CDs are both at 15 this year. Those will obviously balloon. And of course, the Cowboys could use that as an excuse. But then there's other contracts that fall off and make space for what could have been a Micah Parsons or whoever, right?
And then, for clarity, our starting quarterback is making just under $5 million this year.
Correct. And that does help, obviously. But again, I would argue that $21 million for Jalen Hurts isn't necessarily a deal. But
it's a deal.
For that, well, it's a deal for the quarterback market, no doubt. But it's also, in totality for their team, it's really nice. For the Eagles, it's very simple. The Eagles drafted very well. They traded for a lot of draft picks and hit on the vast majority of them. Defensively, yes, they're a little thin, but ultimately, I think this is the best you're ever going to do building through the draft, right? You look at the Cowboys, you have a quarterback situation where obviously you get lucky with the fourth rounder and then you invest in a backup, whatever. Vikings go with the first round pick and then just sign a veteran. Eagles, similar, second round pick, low value veteran on the backup. The running back is where things get crazy, right? The Eagles defied the odds in the world and decided to pay for a top level running back. The Vikings didn't quite do that, but they got a mid to high level. I guess mid-level is probably fair for where Aaron Jones was at the time, right?
I mean, it's good. It's solid. I don't even know.
But money-wise,
yeah,
we're talking in terms of market here as much
never
as
crazy. I'm trying to.
It was a mid-level deal. It was.
Why don't
you
I
didn't
even see him on our cap page right now?
He doesn't necessarily kill your cap, but he's definitely a chunk of it, right? You also have a situation here with neither one of these teams with their top end players. None of them have.
On IR.
None of these players are bust level or even inefficient or even that injured very often, right? Jalen Hurts, Lane Johnson, AJ Brown,
Lane is
Goddard.
good to miss multiple games per season as well as Goddard.
So, that's fair. So, and then on the Viking side, you've added Murphy, Van Ginkel.
Minnesota's technically 32nd right now in cap spent on running backs.
Yeah, it wasn't really a high value.
Well,
but it was
Aaron
a good
Jones
play,
is on the IR, so they don't count that, I guess, right now. So when he comes back, we would jump up to closer to the top 10.
So for the Cowboys, their running back room is two very low value free agents, which I count as not a very expensive free agent and a free agent that was available post draft. This is also a 5th round pick who hasn't played, and an undrafted free agent who also hasn't played. When you look at the receiver room, all three of these teams have invested appropriately in the receiving room. The Cowboys have gotten cheap on the back end, where you have a first, a trade, a third, an undrafted free agent, and then like a 6th round pick. And then another undrafted free agent, I think, as far as their depth. You get 2 first-round picks with the Vikings, and then you definitely get a little more discounty there, but it's still 2 draft picks, one fairly high, and then kind of
the guy who gets the franchise legend boost.
Yeah, we're right. And one of them is but he's technically a low-value free agent right now, but yes, that is a weird one.
It was a trade.
A trade. You're right. He did get brought in a trade. So then the Eagles, again, 2 trades and a first. But then obviously the depth of that room isn't necessarily great because of it, which is fair though. I mean, you have 3 guys and then a 4th one that seems useful, right?
The disrespect to Xavier Gibson.
So I'm just saying.
I've never heard that name before in my life.
These guys matter.
Just got added to the team.
Okay.
Again, everyone with the tight end room, you pretty much do well there. The free agency stuff when it comes to O-line, I think, is interesting. Because the Eagles basically just did not at all use free agency for their offensive line. As far as it's all, they basically Mailata is this is the secret sauce, more or less, because he develops so well and stays healthy, right? Because I think the Cowboys could argue the same with Terrence Steele, but then he got injured and now has been nowhere near what he was for the 1.5, maybe 2 seasons that he earned the contract, right? So obviously that's a big deal. I can't kill the Cowboys on the offensive line. You have 3 draft picks that are top end. You have a center that's decent. You have even undrafted free agents that can contribute, because I guess the offensive line room is usually always fairly decent. They're just young and inexperienced. Whatever.
Looks like y'all are ranked 20th in cap on offensive line spending.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. The 3 of them are picks. None of them have big deals at this moment.
Well, Vikings are 3, Eagles are 9.
Nice. Yes, and then we get to the Vikings, and you have a high-value free agent. You have 2 first-round picks used. You have 1 second-round pick who ends up being the guy most paid, I guess. I think O'Neal was your second-round pick.
Brian.
And so, yeah. So obviously can't kill it there. Defensively, where the Cowboys are who might be the most atrocious team in the league, save for the Saints at this point. I don't know what defenses are the worst yet, but I have a good feeling the Cowboys are contending for that role. You have obviously the edge, the defensive line, whatever you want to lump these together, right? Cowboys have put in no value. In fact, they got rid of a generational talent. We've talked about it. Minnesota, on the other hand, has built with 2 high-value free agencies on the D-line, 2 in the linebacking core, 1 in the cornerback room, and then the safeties room, you have a first-round pick who maybe is on the end of his career, whatever, but he's an incredible.
Forced that interception the other day for the pick 6. So.
And then you've put a little bit of low value into the rest of the safety room. But I guess when you have the rest, you can do that, right? You've spent a lot of money on the defense.
I am shocked on the next one.
What?
The Eagles.
The Eagles defense, yes. I mean, you can criticize it because ultimately what they've done is they've done well with managing to get the 2 first-round picks that land you the big defensive tackles that can allow you to have a different set of defense. Obviously, they also can run and pound the ball and the clock, which allows them to play a different version of football. And defensively, that helps a lot. I mean, the Cowboys, Jason Garrett era, the Des Cottet one, that team was basically just trying to run the clock out on you and have its defense on the field as little as possible. That was the formula. And it may have worked, may have not. But ultimately, you could get it done because you controlled so much clock. You were efficient offensively. And you see that with the Eagles.
The Eagles defense is both young because a lot of them were drafted and cheap.
And the only criticism you may be able to do with the Eagles is drafting the defense seems a little bit all over the place because you have 2 first-round linebackers. I think one of them has been slow to actually contribute well, but he's come on stronger lately, right?
No. Oh, well, it depends if you consider Nolan Smith a linebacker.
I guess. Because
he plays a lot on the edge.
Goofy, yeah. Because you guys, and the way that they chart these things is not consistent from team to team, obviously.
Yeah. So he might officially be listed as a linebacker, but he plays with his hand on the dirt more times than not. And then you look at Jihad Campbell was a first-round draft pick. So that, if you want to say they spent 2 first-round picks on linebackers, you technically could say that. However, it's not.
Spot Track has him as a outside linebacker.
Yeah, but plus he was also at the end of the first round, so
Hey, he is. I'm an idiot. I was about to say he's only 3 days older than me, and then I realized there's a 10-year difference in our birthdays, and I just can't. I don't know what's going on with my brain.
We would be. They would already be cutting us off NFL rosters.
I was definitely born before the year 2001.
There you go.
And then you have a first-round pick at cornerback, but then obviously the cornerback room after and the safety room especially is a bit of a mixed bag with the Eagles. So ultimately, you see a fair team build there. Let's get to the funny boys here because you have 3 second-round picks, which is a commendable effort to try to get a top-tier guy. And I do like Sam Williams, Nealon, and the kid. I'm still learning his name. But you can kind of see where this pattern has also extended to Marcus Lawrence, and I'm sure maybe some other people. Taco was technically a first-round pick, but you might as well look at that as a second-round pick because it was late. Mozzie, that's not the same position in my mind for what we're talking about here. but yes, there was an investment in the first round with Mozzie, right? Or was he second?
Oh, he might have been a second. I thought he was the first. But...
No, Mozzie was first. Mozzie was late first. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Mozzie was late first. But anyway, so you have a mid-level free agent and you have 2 low-value free agents on your edge. You traded for your defensive tackle run stopper, but at what cost? You have a 3rd-round pick. You have a low-value free agent. You have a 7th-round pick, and then your 1st-round defensive tackle fits on the depth chart. I wasn't able to do y'all's depth chart as well because I don't know your rosters that well. The Cowboys, I do have this in order. So, yes, the 1st-round pick is technically behind the 7th-round pick of this year. The 1st-round pick from a couple years ago is technically behind the 7th-round pick of this season. So that's obviously not good. Your linebacking group is even funnier because I have a trade on here, but this is bargain bin trade. We're trading 6th-round picks for guys who are about to get cut, a la Kenneth Murray. You have a low-value free agent, or 2 low-value free agents, 2 thirds and 2 fifths. One of those probably won't play this season, even though he is a slam dunk and DeMarvion Overshown. The other kids you just won't play because now you also have to do this other stuff. Your cornerback room, I think you've done a pretty good job, but ultimately that's only a 2nd-round pick invested. It's 2 fifths. One of them hit really big. The other one we have barely ever seen. You have a 3rd-round pick. We'll see. You have a trade that was, I guess he's been decent, but on a bad team overall. And then 3 low-level free agents. And then the safety room, which actually was the most concerning for me, because I was like, I remember we basically brought in Malik Hooker when people didn't really think he was a good player anymore. And I remember Donovan Wilson being a 6th-round pick from A&M. Guys, they are actually the 2 names you'll find below Trayvon Diggs in the Cowboys cap hits at $8 million each.
Oh, that's not ideal.
Not ideal. So not only do you have Steele and Diggs, who take up your top 4 players paid, and frankly, Steele is doing his damnedest to be just above replacement, I guess, to use a baseball term here. And Trayvon Diggs, who I don't even know if at this point, I hope Diggs doesn't play for a couple weeks. And maybe the Revel kid gets some opportunity once he's healthy, and then Diggs can come into a rotation. But ultimately, I don't really see a world where he's worth $12 million anymore. But I'm not going to kill the Cowboys for stealing Diggs because, again, you're keeping players. I'm mad at you because your highest valued free agent was Dante Fowler at, what, $10 million barely? And he doesn't even count for that as a cap hit, technically. And so that is incredibly cheap. And I think it makes sense why you bail on Micah Parsons. I think it makes sense to argue why you would bail on CeeDee Lamb potentially down the line. I think it makes sense why I think ultimately Dak Prescott becomes a much more difficult conversation in both being able to physically, actually trade the contract and taking the risk of searching for the next guy that can at least do the job serviceably, right? So, ultimately you're looking at a team that, yes, they brought in Jadeveon Clowney. We'll see how that goes.
I can't believe you didn't tell me you have an Aggie named Buddy Johnson in your linebacking core.
He's probably undrafted free agent that isn't even on the actual active roster because I didn't even add him on this. Yeah, and so at this point, you're literally hoping 5th-round picks make a difference. It's an incredible poor effort, and I feel bad for Prescott mostly because, he really is the last man to stand. At any moment, they could move Ferg. They could move CeeDee Lamb, and things wouldn't really change too much more than what they did with Micah. But
it's
for
interesting
Dak,
spot for him because if he's anywhere else, he might not ever even get to see the field. So
Prescott,
yeah.
What do you mean? He got his opportunity in 16?
Yeah, because he was here. That's when Romo gets hurt.
Yeah, I think Romo was, that one. I don't think that was. I think Prescott would have worked eventually for someone. He's above serviceable in a league that's very bad right now overall, and he's consistent.
It's just
he
may
not be great.
A little bit earlier, the talent evaluation and development are just so sporadic throughout the league that I bet he's just like, thank God this this worked out here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. But either way,
whatever level it does, it's still better than most people get. So
you're talking about an incredibly bad build. If this was ever supposed to win, even if we magically redo the Micah Parsons trade, I'd be quite stunned. I'd be quite stunned how to get there. And I know that people might say, hey, this year, he called it the soft rebuild, the soft reboot. But the reality is I think that they're kind of blatantly tanking in our faces.
Waiting on Trayvon Diggs to get another 10 interceptions or whatever it was that year.
I don't even think that it's that wishful of thinking. I think that they really I think when McCarthy was brought in, it was with the idea that he could take the Garrett era Cowboys and put them over the top. When he only made them just a little bit better, I think that logically what you would do is you would then just tear it back down from scratch with a young offensive-minded head coach, probably, right? And they sneaky did that. Whether it's the guy you would have hired or not, I get the argument there, because we also could extend discounts to the head coach and the defensive coordinator right now. Because it's not like the Cowboys went and even attempted to offer Ben Johnson anything. It's not like they went out and tried to search the DC market. They took the guy that they were comfortable with, paid him a decent amount for his lack of experience, and brought in a guy they already knew at defensive coordinator instead of going and hitting the market as an open market. So for these guys who love money, for these pure capitalists, as Jerry likes to say, he does a shit job of playing the free market. And Jerry's not the only one. Cincinnati, Houston, whoever else I need, leave them in the comments. Guys, you can always suggest. We will find out how cheap these teams are, because as much as I think it's fair to be like, hey, Philly's doing great, KC's doing great, Baltimore's on the cusp, Buffalo's on the cusp, I think there is a lot of NFL teams that actively don't participate in competing for championships. And I don't think we talk about it enough. In baseball, we do.
Yeah, and basketball too.
Basketball, we will. Yeah.
Hockey also definitely gets some of that.
Nice. I wouldn't know as much. But yes, I think in the NFL, we let not just Jerry Jones off the hook, but we let many head coach or owners off the hook.
Oh, for sure.
Freudian slip.
All right.
I think we should just make these halves since we're already.
You want to make this a half? All right.
Let's just keep pushing on through to this.
All right, let's push on through. So that was the bargain bin. Now, gentlemen, it looks like we are struggling to keep pace with football Jesus himself. The man is clearly starting to create a lead, and it's looking like PTR does not know as much ball as Jesus, but there are still plenty of NFL to be had this season. But let's look at the record right now. So, PTR versus Jesus on unique picks. We have 5. He has 9. And then you look at his overall record, 35-13. He knows his ball. That 15-1 week, man, that's gonna be hard for us to overcome. Unless he has like a 1-15.
That average should drop for a couple of weeks.
For sure.
Even if he has successful weeks.
So Bethke is not far behind the pace from us.
I should note that last week I messed up and accidentally took away one of Bethke's wins.
Who'd I get?
So this is that's the most accurate one, right?
This is all accurate now.
Absolutely. Now I'm gonna go back to this.
I accidentally typed in a one of his pick cells on the sheet by accident, and it messed the formula up.
I gotcha. Well, here we got Patrick. You and I were both 30-18. Bethke 29-19. One game behind the pace of us, and then all of us are 5 to 6 games back of Jesus. We'll see if something changes this week. Anyway, let's look at the picks, though. Let's look at the exact picks that we got right and wrong on this one. All right. So it looks Patrick, you and I both got screwed over by the Packers. Just no showing against the Browns. That Bethke hate watch finally came in clutch. Tennessee, both of you picked Tennessee, and I'm like, listen,
I'm not riding those Daniel Jones vibes. All right,
all right, yeah, but you rather ride the Titans vibes, like that's
no, but I just assumed the Daniel Jones thing was going to end this week, not next
No,
week.
not against a team that was the picked first overall the year before. I need to see a lot before I put any stock into the Titans. I got it wrong with Cincy. I didn't realize they were not going to show up and play. I thought and just get
And
their
the
ass
Vikings
kicked.
would have theoretically the greatest day of all time on defense for one guy.
Yeah.
Now that I know how much has been spent on the defensive end for Minnesota, I'm glad. I feel like, I didn't know that going into it. I just kind of guessed, but
Pittsburgh, New England, that one's not as bad. I mean, that one's really a toss-up. Even look at the score, 21-14.
no. If anything, I really should learn my lesson on Pittsburgh already. But I'm still gonna ride it.
Still gonna ride it. Now here, the hate watch. Bethke almost had 2 hate watches in a row play out in his favor. But because the kicker for the Rams does not kick kickoffs in an honorable way, he was struck down by the football gods. Because what the fuck is a knuckleball kickoff? You look at Denver, LA. Ooh, Patrick, you almost had that one.
The Cards should have done that one too. Yeah, the Cards would probably piss me off more than any of the rest of them.
I was very upset with the Cards because they had that game. It was an ugly game.
They were going to stop
right?
Mac Jones? Are you kidding me?
Jeez, like, you can't stop Mac
Wasn't
Jones.
was there a big drop from Marvin Harrison Jr. at some point?
Yeah, he definitely dropped the ball. There's an image
He's
of
been
him
underperforming
trying to
this
catch
whole
the
year.
ball.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
underperforming last year too. But he looks so. The images of him trying to catch the ball, but if you look at his eyes are looking up to the sky with the ball hitting him in the chest. So nobody knows what he was looking at. I don't know if you can pull that up. But either way,
I'll try.
I
I see a clip. Oh, he dropped a tutty, and that one kind of had the sun in his eyes. But oh my god.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Marvin Harrison Jr. He's starting to kind of look very mid. Which, you know what? Who would have thunk it? A guy who skipped all draft combines, workouts, just riding the wave of
It looks like he's fielding a kick return, but it's already there.
Here's the one that I was going to show. I thought this is what you're going to be talking about. This is what I saw from Marvin Harrison this week. Look at the defender. Watch him.
Oh, that was the same
Watch
one.
Fred Warner. Oh, shucks.
Oh man. Oh, dang. Yeah, buddy, you are not your dad. Oh, that's for sure.
Not yet.
Well, hey, give him some
I have him on
ammunition.
my Dynasty Fantasy team, so I'm holding out hope still for at least another season.
Holding out hope for a Cardinals player. That is.
Larry Fitzgerald was amazing.
Yeah, he was one of one. It felt like him and Anquan Bolden. It's wild that they had both of them at the same time. They also had Kurt Warner throwing him the ball. So
Was that Warner?
they don't have that. No, and okay, they did have Carson Palmer for a little bit, but that was just. I think at that point, Anquan Bolden was already off the team. He was a Raven, I think, at that point. Anyway, yeah, there is that. So let's see if we can get our picks better this week. But for now, it's time to move on to the watch it, skip it, train wreck. Patrick, you know what to do. It's your time to shine.
Just a second. Keep vamping.
He's gonna hit the music. Listen. There's a lot of games. This week was really hard because a lot of games suck. But it's not fair to just put 8 games at the skip it, you know.
Let's see if I can remember how many times before the verse comes in.
Shit.
It's got a long intro.
Boom, 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 boom!
I think this
That's
is it right
right.
here. Backup QB's Chaos Day. Cleveland won in Green Bay. Caleb Williams, Luther Burden, 3 flickers all day. Daniel Jones just keeps on winning. Baker Mayfield lost Mike Evans. Rodgers pick six, forced 2 fumbles. Wentz stayed out the way. Panthers had a big day, Falcons in disarray. LA blocked by Philly, Mike McDaniel may be done. Detroit Lions win late, Russell Wilson gets benched. Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, and Nick Bosa goodbye. Watch it, skip it, train wreck. I forgot the words to this part. Watch it, skip the train wreck, 'cause we can't decide which network gets our eyes. There we go.
There you go. Beautiful.
That's a different
My
instrumental than the one I normally use. That one sounds like they just took just the guitar amp feed from a live show, because you just hear all these like.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. That's good.
That was funny. Sorry,
I
was hearing sounds I don't normally hear.
You know, a lot of people have that courtesy of Tylenol. If you ask certain people. Just kidding. Listen. There was a lot on the docket of games that could be skips, could be train wrecks. It's hard to narrow it all down. Not a ton of watch-its. There were 3 games that I have identified for our viewing audience to give their eyes to. All right, first one's up. Listen, is the hype train real? Is it not? Indiana Jones and the Colts go to the Los Angeles Rams for their first real test of the season. If this is a legit team, they'll go in there and give the Rams all that they can. If they can pull off a win, I think that kind of solidifies that this Colts team might be the winner in the AFC South, which, to be fair, is looking pretty dog water, if I don't say so myself. Now, aside from that, I usually do not put in the must-watch games where 2 teams with losing records are facing off against each other. But this is a very special exception because the 2 teams that are going up against each other, I did not, and I don't think anybody really anticipated them being both 1-2 with a chance to fall to 1-3 after the game. That is Ravens at Chiefs. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens coming off a pretty tough loss. Lamar Jackson got sacked 7 times in that loss to the Detroit Lions. The Chiefs, I mean, that offense looks brutal. The defense is doing all it can, but the Chiefs offense, it's just very strange to see how bad they have fallen since trading Tyreek away. I mean, I know they got 1 Super Bowl post Tyreek Hill trade, but since then, they've been to another one. But the offense just doesn't seem like it's the reason for their success anymore. They still have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, but it is like pulling teeth with that offense right now. So something's got to give. One of these 2 teams, one of these 2 quarterbacks is going to fall to 1-3, and a lot of questions are going to be asked, and some desperation moves may come as a result of whoever loses. Now, there is the event that the game ends in a tie, and then in which case 1-2-1. Still not ideal. Still definitely not ideal. Now, this next game, is this my bias showing? Maybe, but this is also for NFC supremacy because whoever wins this, I believe, will have the best record in the NFC as the hunt for the number 1 seed starts to develop. It's the Eagles at the Bucs. Historically, the Eagles have not had a lot of success against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 1-4 in their last 5 outings against the Bucs. However, in all 4 losses, A.J. Brown did not play or was not on the team at the time. That 1 win, A.J. Brown was there. A.J. Brown is healthy in this game. No Mike Evans, possibly no Chris Godwin for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Things are kind of shaping up positively for the Eagles on that side. But on the defensive side, they are without Nolan Smith. They are without Jacorian Bennett and possibly Adoree Jackson. So, you're going to have a lot of backups coming into this game. So somebody's got to give them that game. It might be entertaining. You always can count on Baker Mayfield to give you some wild throws, both good and bad. So definitely going to be entertaining. Now, let's go to the skip it. Guys, there is a lot of games that can be skipped this week. The first one that I have listed here, Titans at Texans. This is a toilet bowl matchup. There's just nothing entertaining about the Texans offense. And the Titans will possibly be without Cam Ward. There is a chance that he's not going to play. So you're going to have
That might push it
I
into a
don't-
train wreck.
that might push into train wreck. However, I don't think Will Levis is healthy.
No.
So he may not be the immediate replacement. Which, you know, if he was, I would gladly put this in train wreck. I would gladly watch that game through Red Zone. Now, next game, Saints at Bills. Usually, whenever I feel like a team is going to be the worst in the league, it's going to be like a perma-ban, perma-skip. And with the Saints, this one is also a perma-skip right now. Because you know what? It's 0-3 Saints. Spencer Rattler against Josh Allen and the Bills. This is not going to be a competitive matchup. So save your time and put something else on. Next game on the Skip It. Another team that will possibly be competing for the first overall pick this season. It is the New York Jets hosting the Los Angeles Chargers.
The
3-0, 0-3. Nope, not the Jets. The Giants. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. No, you're good. I just want to make sure I had it right on my on our chart.
Yeah. Now I do have the Jets listed here on our list of.
I was gonna say, yeah, the whole Monday night block should just be.
Yeah, the whole Monday night block is just disgusting, and the NFL really should just please.
Stop
I
doing
get that they're a
doubleheaders.
huge market. Stop doing double headers or stop putting these bad teams on these games. I know that there's only so many games that you can put on Monday night, but if you know a team is bad, why are you actively just saying, all right, come on. We're going to put you on Monday night because what else are people going to watch? I'll tell you what, anything else, because that is going to be a skip. Chargers and Giants as well. Oh, sorry. Jets and Dolphins, that's Monday night. That one's a train wreck, which you could still not watch, but we'll get into that. Now, guys, there's plenty of other matchups that we could have thrown in here for the must skip. I just want to quickly brush some of these horrid matchups. You have Bears at Raiders, right? That's just kind of gross. Is anybody interested in the 2-1 Bengals with Jake Browning? The Broncos are 1-2. Like, does that excite anybody? No, I don't think so. Right? You
People who
have
like the color orange, I guess.
perhaps, I suppose, Commanders Falcons. Like, that's not a sexy matchup,
Ooh,
right?
how many people on the West Coast do you think are going to be waking up at 6:30 to watch Vikings Steelers?
Maybe. Well, you know, the Steelers have a pretty big fan base, so maybe a couple thousand.
That's a good skip if you don't want to wake up like I do before the sun comes up on weekends.
That's right. Now, guys, I don't know if you have any suggestions for the watch or the skip it before we go into the train wrecks. Anybody?
State mandated Cowboy Watch.
Well, listen, they are on this week's train wreck. That's right. Packers, Cowboys. That is a potential train wreck for a myriad of reasons. Mostly watching the Cowboys play defense and the
And if
history
the
between
Packers
these two
lose to the Cowboys, then it's also even funnier train wreck.
And all of a sudden, the Cowboys offense just took a big hit this week.
Yeah.
Not just a big hit, it's like the hit.
The chunks out of the two places you were
But
expecting, fully
I know-
things.
The Bears are not a world beater on defense, and Dak Prescott and the boys were dinking and dacking.
And I was just talking about the injuries, yeah.
No,
Well, even in the offensive line, the lineman, obviously that sucks for development reasons, but you could have figured out to pace that without Sedarian. Jalen Tolbert can't
and
dance.
Booker, right?
That's
So
right.
I
They got
also
a
need to let you guys know that.
They have a nice, calm, cool-headed leader to take over the wide receiver room for a few weeks.
You mean the guy who tipped the interception that ultimately ended making the landslide even crazier in that game Sunday? I mean, Pickens has been fun, and
No, he's a
I
good
mean,
receiver,
we'll probably
just,
get him back on a reasonable deal at this point. But yeah, Jalen Tolbert's more of the pain there for everyone who has to watch because, like, I mean, we wanted Tolbert to work, but like he drops a lot of balls in weird ways. But the worst thing I think now is we have multiple videos. He cannot dance. And frankly, I think for a wide receiver not being able to dance, it concerns me quite a bit. Not only do you need to celebrate, but like most of the receiving job is just dance adjacent athletic ability. So that makes me quite nervous for his future. And I think that he needs to look into instructions because it might help him on the football field.
Perhaps so. No. I teased this earlier, but Jets at Dolphins are also going to be a train wreck game. It is Monday night. It is two bad teams trying to not be the worst in the league. I mean, listen, you have Mike McDaniels, who's effectively coaching for his job week to week now. He can be fired at any moment. Tua Tagovailoa, we know how volatile his history is on primetime games with injury.
Tua turn the ball over.
That's right. And you got the Jets on the other side. Like, they're a feisty team, but it's also the Jets. Like, something just inexplicable can happen. Something's got to give, right? This is the movable object, the stoppable force. And for that reason, I believe it should be in the train wreck category, not necessarily the skip it category. And yeah, with that said, gentlemen, I want to circle back to the must-watch games of the week. What do you think is the most must-watch game of the week? Becky, will lead it off with you.
Dallas Cowboys every time.
All right, they're not on the list. Patrick.
I think, I don't know. Baltimore, Kansas City is probably just the easiest answer. So
All right.
I'm going to go with that one.
We're going to go with that one as our game.
Your game is also a very interesting one.
It is, but also I just can't stomach the idea of us.
But I feel like I'm not going to get
again.
to see Baker at his full powers without his boys.
Hey, that's fair because you know what? Jalen didn't have full power the last time he played Bucks either. He didn't have Smith or AJ Brown, if memory serves me correctly. It was just Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley. Yeah. Anyway, game of the week: Ravens at Chiefs. Listen, we're gonna do more talking points instead of traditional previews going through the tail of the tape. Listen, there's a lot of talking points for each team. The Baltimore Ravens defense has been bad under Zach Orr to begin this last season. They found their groove as the year went by. This year, they're starting off rough, just as they were last year, and it's bringing into question the merit of having him be the follow-up for Mike Macdonald, who's now the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. But I will say this: as a former Mean Green myself, just like Zach Orr, I am pulling for this guy.
Do you believe in the Mean Green?
But it's hard to believe in Zach Orr right now. They let up 40 points against the Bills, and they let up 38 against the Lions. The Browns, I mean, listen, that one, it's the low-powered Browns. That one is a low bar to clear. If you are giving up 30, 40 points to the Browns, this iteration of the Cleveland Browns, there is a lot wrong with your football team. So, you look at the Chiefs, they have been struggling on offense, right? They have not been able to score at will like they used to. They don't really complete any of the deep shots. They've scored 21 against the Chargers in a loss, 17 against the Eagles in a loss. 22 was the most that they could muster against the lowly Giants. I get that they've had injuries to the receiving core and missing Rashee Rice's suspension, but it shouldn't be this hard for a team that's led by Patrick Mahomes to score the ball. But they're not getting any production from the run game. They're not getting production in after the pass game. They're relying on their defense to carry them. There's only so much a defense can do if you can't put up enough points on the board. And it's starting to look like that is the case for this team. So then something's got to give, right? A defense that can't stop anybody, and then an offense that can't score on anybody. It's the movable object. It's the stoppable force. The only difference is both teams have elite quarterbacks. Can the elite offense of the Ravens score on that Chiefs defense? If they can, well,
it's hilarious to see that the Ravens do have the most points scored and the most points given up.
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, for
That's some
football
Big 12
context,
football.
that is some Big 12 football. And listen, Zach Orr, he played in proximity to the Big 12. not in the Big 12 adjacent, but it's right there in the area. Now, listen. With this all said, someone's going to come out of this game 1-3, and then there's going to be just an incessant talk about each team. What the talking points will be will remain to be seen, because I feel like if the Ravens go 1-3, there's going to be a lot of bad faith talks about Lamar Jackson, I feel like, and not the defense. Whereas with the Chiefs, I feel because of Patrick Mahomes' golden boy status, there will be talks about, well, why they won't supply him with any weapons, which is a fair question to ask until you realize they've tied up all their money into Patrick Mahomes, into Chris Jones, and a key number of players that don't necessarily play on the outside for him. So there's that. Guys, I don't know if you guys have anything that interests you about that game that you're looking forward to hearing about, seeing itself play out.
Is the NFL so trash that one of these 1-3 teams easily still gets into the playoffs?
The Ravens
I think it'd be
have
the
a
Ravens.
better chance.
Absolutely. The AFC North is not
Like,
scary
their-
right
their
now.
competition is Aaron Rodgers and Jake Browning. So
Hey,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, he's got, maybe there's some more ayahuasca up in that part of Pennsylvania than we're familiar with.
I'm just predicting he might have fewer games to go before he gets hurt than he has left to play. I don't know. But that would be my prediction. Of the two teams, if the Ravens lost, I think they'd have a better shot at bouncing back and recovering the season than the Chiefs would at this point.
Absolutely. And I don't think the schedule for the Ravens gets harder from here, I don't think. Let's see. I got son of a biscuit-eating bulldog. I lost it.
The Ravens have the Chiefs, then the Texans, Rams, Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Pats, Packers, Steelers. This
So
is
if you
nice
just
and
look at
middle of
their
the road- middle of the
Yeah,
road
if you look at
schedule.
their the AFC side of that schedule, it's absolutely winnable. Right? The NFC part doesn't really matter that much, I don't think, especially the way the standings work out. They definitely weigh in conference more than out of conference. However, you look at those out of conference games, the Rams, definitely winnable. Vikings, winnable. Packers, that one will be interesting because it'll be late in the season. Are the Packers fighting for the division at that point? And that could be a tough game for them.
Cowboys number 1 and 2 overall picks potentially.
Potentially. And yeah, then you finish with the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are going to be that. I mean, I know it's a division rivalry game, but at the end of the day, you just have the more talented offense. And you should be able to score on that team that's not an
As long
absolute
as there's
world
less
beater.
thinking.
You then let the talent take over. And with that concludes the first half of the foosball segment. Tune in next time to see how right or wrong we were on any of what was said in this episode.
We'll be back.